Hello again everyone, welcome back. On today's video I've got for you the first look at my Elite starter for Dawn of the Hunt, Lightning Spear, Primal Strikes, Huntress. This build was one that was experimental. I did not have any look at the skills before starting to play. I just started the character and thought I'd figure out something as I played. Turns out I did, but also so did the playbase. Lightning Spear is very popular, probably the most popular, but Primal Strikes is surprisingly not. For me, so far, I've gotten the character to tier 7s, and it's nearly level 80, so not too far, still a lot of room to improve and to take the character, but currently clears the maps like a treat. Lightning Spear makes short work of everything, and if a single target happens to be very tanky or on any bosses, you can start using Primal Strike and it will absolutely melt enemies. It is very strong. So far, I'm absolutely loving it, and if your first build didn't go too well and you're looking for something to swap to, or maybe you just want to take a few notes for your own personal build, I think this build is very solid. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Alright, so let us start by having a look at our character here. Firstly, we are level 78 right now. We have capped resistances, chaos is a little bit low, but that will be fiddled with in a little bit when I have a bit better gear. We have nearly 2k life, very high evasion, armor doesn't really matter, and 35% block just from our shield, which is very nice. And that's about where we are in terms of overall stats with our character. Having a look at our passive tree, we can start with the ascendancy. First, my recommendation would be to go into critical strike, penetrate, predatory instinct, and the fourth one I'm debating still. I'm not a big fan of elemental infusion from the little I tried it, but it is what the overwhelming majority is doing, given I wasn't using a reliable source of frenzied charges when I last tried it. So for my final ascendancy, I'll go into this and test it out, see how it feels, and go from there. If not, you can really take whatever. You can potentially take this for better recovery of life, or you can go into in for the kill and get a little bit more movement and skill speed when fighting enemies with an open wound, but that is unreliable at best, so I might just settle for elemental infusion. We'll have to see. As for the passive tree, it's a very simple passive tree. We go through all of these nodes. All of these early ones are very efficient. We want a lot of accuracy due to this node. We are nearly capped crit strike chance just from this node and the amount of accuracy we can accumulate. Take these on for early points of damage, and the fork on this will be pretty reliable with the amount of projectiles you're creating. After that, through leveling, I pat all the way down here. I grab this elemental damage, I grab this attack damage, and while leveling I actually took Dance with Death. We don't run a shield while leveling because this allows us to have a lot of skill speed. It makes the leveling a little bit smoother. Of course, we're talking on a non-hardcore version of the build. If you're playing hardcore, then obviously this is very risky node to take, so do that at your own discretion. After that, I took all of this spear node is very good. All of its points are very valuable to us. Go up here and take the accuracy, and then it's a matter of pathing up here for the Herald node. 50% increased lightning damage while affected by Herald of Thunder is amazing. If you tie it on Spirit, trying to fit other auras at the same time, you can take these reservation nodes, but optimally you don't waste points on that and just get more Spirit on your gear. Pat up here, get evasion, get accuracy, get dexterity here, which is very valuable, and it will make all of your dexterity necessities throughout leveling will be fixed by this, realistically. And then you can just fill out crit nodes here, crit nodes here. I have Endless Circuit, which not a lot of people are taking. but when it procs is quite nice, and you can just chain primal strikes back to back, which will do a lot of single target damage. And it's a single point, because you're pathing to Wildstorm anyway. From there I'm pathing up here, getting the rest of this crit available here, and after that, as a matter of taking some small bonus points, you could go up here and take some crit if you still need some, or you can come down here and take things like increased damage if you dealt a crit in the past 8 seconds. This is a lot of damage, so that would be very good. There's extra lightning damage here as well, and chance to shock, which is nice. So these are nice, and you can grab this wheel and this accuracy wheel as well. And that's about it. For your gear, if you want to have a better look at this, I'll leave the POV in the description of my current character, so you can go and have a look. First, let's look at weapon. It's a decent enough weapon. We have high fizz, a little bit of flat fizz, not perfect. Then we have very high flat lightning, crit, and the gain, life and mana, are wasted mods, but this is the best one I could find right now at a decent-ish price. I spent 30 exalts on this, and was the most expensive one I have spent any money on. Currently, I've dropped 1 divine, and that's what I use to fuel my purchases so far. No more than 1 divine has been spent on this character. We have a fine enough helmet, has a little bit of armor and evasion, it has a little bit of life, but it has resistance, which we very much need. This unique is the only unique you really want. It doubles your accuracy, obviously making it very, very potent for this build. And it comes with decent enough block chance. You can go up to 40 block chance on its own. So that is, or increased block chance. I believe it goes up to 36 block chance, the shield itself, so good enough. On the amulet, we have high life, high spirit, crit damage, and a resistance. The spell damage obviously does nothing for us, but it's a good amulet for now. And I actually need to anoint it because I haven't done that yet. On the rings, both rings, we'll want to fix our resistance. We want to fit in damage where possible, the best one being lightning damage to attacks or physical damage to attacks. Leech is nice to get here as well, and if possible, accuracy rolls would also be very nice. Life, obviously, very good as well, and these are both my rings. If you have a necessity for any attributes, this is a nice way to fix them as well on your amulet, of course. On our chest piece here, it is a very high evasion one. It has up to nearly 1200. It has good life, it has 2 good resistances as well. In a perfect world, I would have I would have spirit here to allow me to fit a better tame beast on, but that's about it for the chest. On the gloves, we have a fine enough pair for now. Not very high armor or evasion, but it does the job. It has a good amount of accuracy, good life, a bit of crit damage, and a resistance, and that's about it. On our belt, the belt is probably our weakest piece at the moment. It has 2 mods essentially. It has maximum life and a mid-roll of cult resistance. So I could look at replacing this very early in the future. And then our boots, we have a resistance, life, and decent movement speed. And a little bit of armor and evasion as well. So, as you can see, very upgradable still. And obviously it will, because we're just midway through yellow maps. For our skills, if I close the ones that I'm not using here, we can see that our primary 2 skills are Primal Strikes and Lightning Spear. So let's talk about that. Primal Strikes we want to use when our target is shocked, because otherwise it doesn't do the spirits, which are the big damage hitting portion of this attack. To that, we have to find another way to shock them, and that's where we are using Lightning Spear with a very, very high amount of damage and crit, which allows you to shock very often. On Lightning Spear itself, we have Volt. This will provide a very, very good amount of clear. We have Retreat, we have Lightning Infusion, of course, and then we have Primal Armaments. The last node, once I get it, will be... there it is. The last node will be most likely overextended, as it adds a lot of critical damage bonus to it. Very importantly, due to the way our ascendancy works, you can see the actual crit chance closer here. For our primal strikes, we run close combat, of course. We want to be in melee with the enemy. Pursuit, which is the counterpart to retreat. Elemental focus, as we are inflicting no elemental ailments with this skill, and then heft. Last one will more likely than not be concentrated effect, as we almost exclusively use primal strikes on single target, on bosses and stuff, so the AoE portion that comes with concentrated effect doesn't really negatively impact the way our primal strike works. Next, let's talk about Barrage, and we'll talk about Herald of Thunder in a little bit. Barrage, we use it as soon as it comes off cooldown. It's very, very powerful, and it empowers our next Lightning Spear. We have Ingenuity here, which shaves off nearly half a second from Barrage, as you can see. Premeditation to give more damage to our Lightning Spear, and then Murderous Intent just to have a source of call. Our pet is currently a Crag Leap. I focus on getting a good aura. At the time of getting this pet, I needed elemental resistance to help me fix my gear, so that was very nice. And I want a pet with all damage shocks, which will help maintaining a very good amount of shocks on a single target during bossing. But auras to look here would be Physical Aura and Haste Aura. And that's the ones you want to look for. I have Disengage. I like Disengage as a travel skill. I am messing around with supports for it, but Second Wind allows me to stockpile uses of it and then just do this very quickly to move or dodge. Elemental Sundering, I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't use this. It was here early on to try and help if you ever get crowded with enemies and start to get a bit overwhelmed, but I never use it anymore. And lastly, I have Combat Frenzy. This is how we're generating frenzies in combat, linked to Profusion and Precision for more accuracy. This works in tandem with Herald of Thunder because we have Innervate and Electrocute. Electrocute being the thing that is giving us electrocution buildup, and then we have Neural Overload to electrocute enemies that are primed. Primed means that you don't need to fill the electrocute to 100% before electrocuting them. Essentially, in tandem with Combat Frenzy, it will maintain very close to 100% uptime on frenzies while mapping, and a decent amount while bossing as well. And that is pretty much about it for the character as it stands right now. As I said, POV will be in the description so you can have a more thorough view of the character and its numbers. Feel free to browse. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. And if it was, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel for further updates. I'm also working on a Lich build at the moment, which is the most popular one. It will be Ascendancy and Contagion. It plays very fluidly so far. Only up to Act 3, but still enjoying it thoroughly. And I'll be continuing pursuing this character into the further tiers of maps and see how far it can go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all later. Bye bye.